right. Well, today on the Brett Allan Show, I can't even imagine that I would be saying this, but we're talking with actor and storyteller Emile Hirsch about his new film, BAU Artist at War, his latest project. We've just been talking here before we started recording, but this film is based on a true events, and he plays the lead character in it. Emile, thanks for hanging out today on an overcast LA day. Thanks for your time. Excited to chat with you about the project.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And it's nice to talk to you.
So let's talk about this movie. I mean, you've done
Yeah.
a lot of things and played a lot of characters. So this one's a little bit different than I think people might be used to, but it's really good from what I've read and seen. What was it about the film that sort of intrigued you to commit your time to it as a storyteller and as an actor to become involved?
Well, I'll say first and foremost that playing this historical character of Joseph Bow, a man who was a cartoonist and an artist who survived the Holocaust in World War II in the camps, and used his artistic skill to help forge IDs to help Jews escape. He saved over 1,100 souls. And and contributed to saving 1,100 souls. And that's to me something beautiful. And then you add to that the fact that he was this brilliant humorist and had this irascible sense of humor and was constantly making jokes and being funny and seeing the glass half full in life as opposed to half empty. And that was something that it was the kind of part where I was touched when I read it and I said, this is the kind of role. This is like the anti-Hannibal Lecter role where after you play it, you need to take a shower and burn all your clothes and like go see a priest or something like that. It's the opposite of that. This is a part where you play this character and then once you wrap and you move on with your life, you're hoping to hold on some of those shards of that character. You're hoping to be influenced and have your character strengthened from Joseph. At least I was. Um, I think that he had so many just incredibly admirable traits, and to be able to survive even the darkest of times and bring light to those around him and joy to those around him. And I also related, I've always been kind of, I don't want to call my personality happy-go-lucky because that sounds just too frivolous. But there is a side to me that in general, when I meet people, I like to have a good time. I like to joke around. I like to make people feel comfortable. That's just sort of my nature as a person. It's just the way I am. It's the way my father raised me to be, and the way he is, and the way my mother is. So that's just me. There's no changing that. And I finally kind of found a part that was very much in that vein of sort of letting me express a side to myself as opposed to even just becoming a character, bringing out this side of myself and exploring that on screen.
I love that. I mean, even as we were just hanging out before we started taping, like you do have that personality, which I think is interesting because like with this character or other characters that you've played, you have to go into this space and sort of create something that will match what's on script. And you do really a good job at that. And it's probably refreshing to play something like this versus maybe other characters that you've created, where you, at the end of the day, as you said, feel good and sort of don't have to, I don't know, go through a process. When you play characters like this, or maybe others that you've created, like, do you find yourself in moments like that where you have to sort of go back to ground zero, I guess you could say, and you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, I remember a character I played in a movie called Vincent and Roxy with Zoe Kravitz. Was a
yes.
character who had all this anger and like rage. And I remember I really took a while for me to decompress off that movie. And I remember being like, whoa, like, I gotta kind of watch the influences that we're under, even influences of our own characters that we're playing. You gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, I would imagine
Sorry,
so.
there's a plane going
Oh,
right
you're
by
fine.
overhead.
This is like we're just going for it. It's all good. So, in this
Cool.
story in particular, there's obviously a lot of themes, a lot of ideas that are being, presented in it. For you, like as an actor, when people watch this film in particular, is there maybe one or two things that you're hoping audiences will grasp onto that they can go, hey, this is something important, maybe that can apply to me, or maybe it's just a feel good opportunity to watch a film that's important, regardless, even specifically the subject matter that we're covering.
Yeah, I mean, I would go back to those traits of Joseph Bao being very, very hopeful, having a sense of hope, and never letting them break his spirit. I think that that's something that is one of the most memorable parts about Joseph Bao is his resilience. He didn't give up, and he maintained his sense of humor even in the bleakest times. And that's just it's something that is nobody wants to be in a foxhole with someone that's freaking out. They want to be in a foxhole
Yeah.
with someone who can make a joke and see the good in things and be optimistic. Like we're gonna get the hell out of this foxhole eventually, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That's, I think, an old saying. You don't want to be with somebody that's panicking to death, because the chances are you both are probably going to die because nobody can get it together. So, uh,
Exactly.
yeah, when you are playing a character like this, for you, Emile, like what is important to you when it comes to preparation and research? Do you do a lot of digging on these characters? Uh, Historical fiction like this, what is your process to kind of figure out how you're going to play this role and get
There
it
was
so
just a
nuanced? Yeah.
For me it was getting the accent down, working with a Polish accent coach she was incredibly helpful. And really figuring out the way to do the accent to where it felt not too specific because sometimes when American actors or actors in general do these ultra hyper specific European second language accents,
Yeah.
it almost draws too much attention to itself. Whereas
Right.
my philosophy on accents, especially if you're speaking in an accent that's not your first language, right? I don't speak Polish. I would way rather have it feel like a flavor of an accent and not having um and not distracting the audience with an accent. Just let them watch the character. I think that that's more important than like hitting the weird sounds of certain things because sometimes that can just get into an audience's head and then they're like, um and there was the sense of humor that Joseph Bao had was super important and integral to the interpretation. The whole movie, in a certain sense, they're talking about how funny Joseph is and how eccentric he is. And so we really made a point where after the first read through in Vancouver, I called the director and the producers and I said, you know, I think we need to keep looking at this comedy with the writers and these jokes that are being said because to me you have to believe that they're all funny. You have to be like, that's a funny joke. And
Yeah.
for me playing Bao, I had to be in agreement that something was funny for me to want to do it. So we went through the entire script line by line, working with the writers very, very closely, and we completely gave it a new life and a new flavor based off of our read through and our rehearsals and our deeper understanding of who Joseph Bao was. The humor, we really pushed the envelope on the humor a lot more than we had originally started with, and it's really a testament to Sean and the writers that we were literally working on scenes up until the moment that we shot them. And I'm talking like full on reworking stuff, working with the writers, like new pages up until like rolling. And then there
Oh,
was a new
wow.
page.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was all hands on deck, roll up your sleeves. And I just, I made a commitment with Sean. I said, we're not going to stop doing this until we have to put it on the camera.
Yeah, I love that. Well,
And
that brings
he was game for it. He was
yeah,
badass.
Sean is that way. We've interviewed him multiple times for Reagan, for I don't know. I've lost track of how many conversations we've had. He's a regular on the show for sure. And last time in fact, it was him and John Voight, and he was like driving to a location to scout it while we were filming the interview. It was
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah, it was wild. And John Voight just kept laughing throughout the conversation. Yeah, so from what I've seen the clips, the accent is really cool. It just reminded me of that movie Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh
where he has
yeah.
that South African accent. I had to watch that movie a couple times because I was just trying to like figure out what it was. Not a dig on him or the film. That was a great film, but I get it. Like you kind of find yourself zeroing in on that and going, hey, I'm trying to put this together. So my question is for
Well,
you,
what?
go ahead. Yeah, you're fine. I didn't mean to
No, no,
interrupt.
no, no, no. You go.
For you, like when you're looking at telling a story, whether it's this film or, the catalog of what you've done, what is important to you? Is it writing? Is it the director? Is it the cast? Like, or does it change every time when you get presented with a project in particular?
If you want to make something great, it has to be every single thing.
Okay. Yeah.
The only way, the only way that movies really turn out great, like really great, is if every single aspect is almost paid equal attention to. The writing has to be great. The acting has
Yeah.
to be great. The locations, the sets, the camera moves, the lighting, everything, the music. It all has to come together. It's like planets going into alignment, and then there's the eclipse. It all has to be in alignment. And it's a very unique art form for that way. It's
Yeah.
audio visual. It's an audio visual art form. It's I would say it's the most immersive and interactive art form that we have.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's, as we were saying earlier, it's so different, like your world, than what anybody else does, because you're telling these stories and they always come out so well. Um, yeah, like one film in particular that stands out, obviously, is Into the Wild. I watch that movie every year. I'm a parent, and I watch it to remind myself. To be a good parent, but also try and empower my children, into their world and life. Speaking of having everything match up perfectly, this film, again, from what I've seen and read, it just looks really phenomenal. I'm going to catch it this weekend at a theater here locally, but I want to ask just a couple more questions before I wrap up. I know you have a tight schedule. Out of your filmography, like when you meet people, is there a particular film that most people recognize you for? Does it depend on the age group, the decade? Can you spot a fan and go, "Hey, this person looks like they might be a fan of this movie," or is there, or just does it depend?
I'm very blessed that I've worked on films that people have liked for different reasons. Into the Wild is probably one of those films I've done that I think, even though people have enjoyed a lot of my other movies, I think that that one, for the adventurous type of personality, it can be a real perspective changer for a lot of people. And I'm super fortunate. I'm 40 years old now. I was 21 when I shot Into the Wild. And the idea that that film's legacy has only grown over time, and more people are seeing it all the time, and it's really given people motivation to live their lives to the fullest and experience adventures beyond any that even I've ever had, to be
Wow.
honest. That to me is it's humbling. It's for a lot of people it's almost more than a piece of entertainment or a movie. It's hard to describe. And um I'm and I love, I love all my babies. all the films I've worked on, all my roles, I have a, there's always something that I'm like, oh, I love that part about that. I love this role. I love this role. My character in Prince Avalanche, I love that character.
Yeah.
Killer Joe, the scumbag guy who hires someone to kill his mom. That character is just so crazy. And working with Matthew McConaughey and William Friedkin was amazing. And working with Sean Penn and Gus Van Sant on Milk was just incredible. And working with Ang Lee and Oliver Stone and the Wachowskis, I've just been so fortunate to work with so many incredibly gifted filmmakers, um, that I got no complaints.
Yeah, in fact, it's funny. I have an 11-year-old son, and he just recently discovered Speed Racer. And he came to me, he's like, "Hey, Dad, did you know that there's this live action movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was around when that film came out, and I've seen it." And I'm talking to the man of that film. And he's like, "Oh, that's such a cool movie." It's interesting to watch the generations discover your work. But this film, obviously, is that we're focused on is really good. And I think people are going to love it. And yeah, I'm
I think I
excited.
think I think I think people will. It's not so much if it, I don't look at it like, oh, I like that movie. It's more like, man, those characters. I like those characters. I
Yeah.
like those people. I like those people. There should be more people like that. I feel like that's something that I hope people take away from it.
Yeah, I think so, and right now, with the choice that people have for entertainment, it's crazy, just what's out there. But I think this will be a film that people will appreciate and will stand the test of time, because it has all of the elements that you want in a project like this, and it's based on true events too. So I think that's really the big part of it. Well, thank you so much. This has like been a huge
Thank you,
honor.
Brett.
I really appreciate it. And again, this film is currently available for people to watch, and I think it's just going to do really well. I'm excited. You've been working hard, so I hope you get a chance to enjoy a little bit of time down. I know
I'll
it's
try.
a little bit late there in LA, but you're the best, Emile. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Brett.
much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, you have a lovely day, my friend.
Pleasure
Thank you so
talking to you.
much.
And I have an 11-year-old son myself, so we're in the
So you
same
get
club.
it. Yeah, you
I
get it.
get it.
We just started middle school, and
Yep, yep, yep.
it's a wild ride. I don't know what happened between fifth grade and sixth grade, but there was like a
No, big
shift.
change. Yeah, they're suddenly using slang and all this
Oh,
lingo, and
it's yeah, like I
it's
will
like
hear
it's
him say
bizarre.
things.
Just
Yeah,
the way it is.
I'll hear him say things, and I'm like either Googling it or just having to figure out what it is, and it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we're talking dances, and I'm
It's
51.
beautiful.
I
It's a
started a little
beautiful
bit.
thing.
It is, yeah. I'm excited, and I want to embrace it because it's not going to last forever. But
It
does your
doesn't. It goes
son
so quick.
watch any of your things at all that you've done that
Yeah,
be
yeah. He's
appropriate?
actually seen a lot of my
Oh,
movies.
really? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he's got my number.
That's pretty funny. Is he like get like I mean, obviously you're a normal person, clearly, but does he understand like the connect between who you are and like kind of like what you've done, or is it like
Oh
most
yeah.
kids unimpressive, or so
He's pretty unimpressed and
okay.
unaffected, but he's definitely no dummy. I mean, he definitely like knows what's up.
Yeah, well, I imagine a movie like The Girl Next
We
Door is
acted, we
probably
actually
one that gets
acted,
seen by middle schoolers at this
and
point.
we acted together in a short film. If you go to my Instagram at Emile Hirsch in the bio, there's like a 10-minute short film that me and my son Valor made together where
Oh,
we
very
we acted
cool.
together. It must in to this day, not gonna lie, he's still my favorite co-star by miles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And I really
funny.
mean that. I
I
really
believe you.
mean
I'm sure you do. You've worked with a lot of people. Probably the least
it.
amount
He's
of
good.
drama. Yeah, as far as
He's great.
it's funny. That comment there about having your number is probably true because
Oh
your
yeah.
kids in school and kids watch movies and things come up in TVs, reruns or
Yep.
whatever. And that's my dad. So I would imagine it's probably interesting conversation. when
Oh
he
yeah.
watches something and he probably has questions about it. So,
Oh yeah.
um, anyway, great work, my friend. As always, I hope we get a chance to
Thank you,
cross
Brett.
paths again. And
We
thank you for
will.
your time. And you're the best. And congratulations on this film. It's
Thank you,
people are going
Brett.
to
And
love it.
I encourage all your listeners to go check it out, and all your people watching this to go see it and give it a chance.
Yes, absolutely.